And we here. Hey, night one of the NBA season has come to a wrap. We had the Rockets and the Thunder go at an absolute classic of a game. Warriors Lakers. That Lakers team looks bad, man. That second half was rough. It is Luka and just friends over there. This is supposed to be about my power ranking, so I'm not gonna let that game affect me. I'm gonna give it a couple weeks, see if there's anything I would change. And speaking of power rankings, I was supposed to have this video done yesterday, or sometime before the season started, but I'm extremely lazy, so I didn't. But before we get into my actual power rankings, a little bit about me. My name is Lane. I'm a big fan of just bringing more light and love to commentating and speaking on the game. If you cut on any of your, the talk shows and ESPN, there's so much disrespect. I don't think disrespect's the right word. There's so much there's so much hatred that goes around when people talk about the game and the players in it. I think, do y'all know, I'm assuming y'all know who Kenny Beecham is. He's a huge influence to me. He is so light and talks so well about the game that I want to follow in that. And it is a dream of mine to become something close to him and just talking about the game that I love. So, with all that being said, let's get into it. So, at 30, I have the Wizards. This team is a couple years away from being good. They're super young. They lost 3 of their top 4 scorers last year, but they're going to be an exciting team in a couple years. You got Alex Sarr, they got Bub Carrington, they got Bilal Coulibaly, Trey Johnson. How good is Cam Whitmore going to be? They're not going to be very good this year, but give them a couple more years, this Washington Wizards team might be a team to watch out for. 29, it's the Charlotte Hornets. It's not a great team. They're not super young like the Wizards. They got LaMelo, but it's just the big question is how much is LaMelo going to miss? He doesn't play as much as we would love him to. Last year, he only played 47 games. In the 23-24 season, he only played 22. In the 22-23 season, he only played 36. It is not enough games for this team to be good. He just hasn't shown us the ability to play an entire season. And a really big season relies on the shoulders of him, I mean, where do you go with this team if he can't perform? Is he the guy? I hope so. I really do. It's just I don't know how well he's going to be able to stay healthy. 28 is the Brooklyn Nets. If you are a fan of pure hoops, this team is going to be fun to watch. If you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, you might want to turn away. I don't know. This is a little rough. But Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., sign me up. Yes, please. Cam Thomas took 18.2 shot attempts last year. Michael Porter Jr. wasn't that far behind him at 13.7. That's a lot of shots. A lot of shots. They're gonna suck. I'm just gonna be honest. But it's gonna be so much fun to watch. They also drafted a million, guards in the draft. I'm not sure what was going on. They should have looked to trade some of those. I mean, I'm not in the front office, so I'm not gonna ask but so many questions because I don't know what they're thinking, but I hope they know what they're doing over there in Brooklyn. I hope. 27 is the New Orleans Pelicans. They have a starting lineup of DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, Zion, and Yavis Missy. I'm not pronouncing it right. I am so sorry. But, it relies, again, it's like the Hornet season. It relies so heavily on if Z can look good. I mean, he looks incredible. If you watch Media Day, he looks slimmer. He looks stronger. This is going to be his first really healthy season since Duke. I'm like super excited to see what he's gonna be able to do in a fully healthy season. It's gonna be fun to watch. 26, I got the Utah Jazz. I'm a lot higher on this team than a lot of people are, and it starts up top. Will Hardy is an amazing coach, I think. This team rebounded the ball incredibly well last year. Adding Yusuf Nurkic is only going to make it better. They had a good draft. Ace Bailey is one of my favorite players this year. They drafted Walter Clayton. He didn't shoot it well in the preseason, but he shot it well in college. He should, I hope, be able to figure it out this year. They are losing for the top 6 scorers, but with how well they drafted and with Kyle Filipowski as well, he won Summer League MVP this year. Now, I get it's not top of the crop defenses, but he averaged 30, 7, and 2. Is 29, but whatever. That's unbelievable. So, I'm extremely high on this team. I think they're going to have a tough first half. You can't forget Lauri Markkanen. But I think they're going to have a tough first half. But I look for them to be an above 500 team in the second half, if I'm being honest. I'm just extremely high on this team. 25 is Chicago Bulls. I kind of regret putting them above the Jazz, but I don't know if I could put the Jazz that high. The rest of the roster is not very good. You got Modest, though. That boy might be a star. He might be a star. Still got Kobe White. He's still young. He's only 24. Noah Singh, I didn't realize he was 18. That's kind of insane. I don't know how much he plays, but he could be somebody to watch if you're a Bulls fan. Vegas has them at 32.5 wins. I just don't see that happening, to be honest. I don't know. I really don't see that happening. So I have them at 25. I'm sorry. That actually 20. Yeah, 25. Yeah. Actually 24. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes and I have a little confused. 23 is the Portland Trail Blazers. It's not a bad team. It's just they're not there yet. Donovan Klingen's going to be amazing defensively. He's been working on his cardio so much in the offseason. He thinks he can almost double his minutes from last year. Being such an amazing defender, that's only going to help. He also worked on his 3-ball, which, it could be interesting. I don't know how well it's going to work, but could be something to watch. Defensively, like I said, this team's going to be unbelievable. Not just Klingen, but Matisse Thybulle, Robert Williams, Drew Holiday. This team's going to run you dry offensively. They're going to win some close games. That's if the offense shows up, How well is Denny going to be this year? Can Scoot finally take that jump we all desperately need him to take? I don't know, but I so hope he does. The Phoenix Suns, 22. It's hard to find a light on this team other than Devin Booker. They're not that good defensively. They have Jalen Green, I guess. He's not gonna play. He's gonna miss a couple of games, I think. It might be a couple weeks. I'm not fully sure. But they have him. He should help on defense at least a little bit. So that's. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much about this team to like, to be honest. 21 is the Miami Heat. Hero's gonna miss about 10 weeks. So you're kind of already handicapping. You're already kind of getting handicapped with losing probably your best player. You could argue Bam. I'm not going to discredit that. But they acquired Norman Powell, which Norman Powell was very good last year. The only issue is he is not a very good ISO scorer, and they're gonna need somebody to be with the absence of Hero. And how well is Norman Powell gonna be able to do that? I don't know. Hopefully he worked on it in the offseason so he can show that he has the ability to be an ISO scorer. This is going to be Bam's year, though. With Tyler Hero missing the first 2 months, Bam is the guy in Miami. He's going to show up and show out. Something I did find kind of interesting is the Khalil Ware situation. I'm not fully sure what Eric Spoelstra is doing with him. If you watched any preseason, you'd seen that Spo kind of called him out in the post game in one of them. He played well the next game. I gotta give him credit. I'm not questioning Spo. He's a legendary coach. He knows what he's doing. So I'm not gonna question him, but so much. It's an interesting way to coach, that's for sure. Number 10 or number 20, the Sacramento Kings. I want to take I love Kenny, so I'm gonna talk about as much as I can. I kind of like what he said about this team. It's kind of like if you went to the store, you bought 10 $5 puzzles, you dumped them all on the table. Poof. You tried to stick them all together. You didn't actually put it together. Like if you bought a bunch of Lego sets and you just, instead of putting them pieces, how they're supposed to match, with the book, you glued them together. Like you just like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this was cool. Glue. So that's kind of what the Sacramento Kings are trying to do. That's not gonna work. It's it's just not gonna happen. I wish them the best. I really do, but no. 19 is the Memphis Grizzlies. Again, I keep, it's a recurring theme with some of the teams in the league. Is Ja gonna be healthy? If he is, can he finally live up to how good everyone knows that he can be? Everyone knows how good Ja can be. He just needs to show it. I do think they are going to fall off just a tiny bit with the loss of Desmond Bane. They lose a lot of score. Well, it's going to be more than a little. They lose a lot of scoring. They lose a lot of three-point shooting. It's going to be a tough year. It's just Ja has to stay healthy. 18, so Toronto Raptors. I like this team a lot on paper. The key word there is on paper. How well does this team mesh actually together? Nobody really know until the season takes place. They do have Scotty Barnes, who is by far the best team he's had around him. Everyone knows how talented Scotty is. It's just the team around him has never been as good as it is now. With the first real look of Brandon Ingram, it's gonna make Scotty's life a lot easier. So it's gonna be super fun. Super exciting to watch, especially if you're a Toronto fan. The addition of Colin Morrow-Boyles in the draft. That's going to be cool to watch as well. My biggest question I have is Quickly going to be worth the money? I don't hate Quickly by any means. I don't know if he is truly a championship point guard. Even a playoff point guard, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. It sucks that is the Toronto tax. People don't want to play there, so you got to pay him a little more. It sucks that that's the way that is, and I hope it works out for him. I'm just not sure. 17 is the Boston Celtics. This team just, Jaylen Brown's going to get his. That's not a worry. He's going to get his, Other than that, I don't know about this team. Does anybody in particularly, I looked this up. Derek White, how many three-pointers he took in the last preseason game? 17. Derek White took 17 three-pointers in that last preseason game. He made 6 of them, so it, wasn't great, it wasn't bad. It was really just, average three-point shooting, but 17 is insane. So 16, the Indiana Pacers. Siakam is always a consistent player, but he needs to be good. He needs to be really good with the loss of Tyrese Halliburton. The good thing is, though, if he isn't, this team has always had a next team up mentality. We saw it last year. They've also been super physical. They play with pace. They're going to beat you up. And they need to keep it going. Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Jarris Walker. This team is still super, super talented. They just don't have that guy anymore with Tyrese being hurt, but they can still play well. 15 is Joel Embiid and the 76ers. Notice why I said Joel Embiid before I said the team. Again, he's probably the most worrisome out of everybody that, the team relies on him. Because it does. There's literally, if Joel can stay healthy, he is a MVP candidate. We saw it. He has won an MVP when he stays healthy. Jokic got robbed. If he can just stay healthy, this team is gonna be good. He is an incredible player when he is healthy. They also got VJ Edgecombe, who some think is one of the best players coming out of the draft. Like I said earlier, I love Ace Bailey. I think has a higher ceiling than VJ does in the league. I know VJ has probably the highest motor. He's nonstop from game start to game finish. He is nonstop. Go, go, go. He's gonna be good. Tyrese Maxey's gonna be great. He's Tyrese Maxey. How good is Paul George gonna be? Another question that is very reasonable. Is he gonna stay healthy? How is it gonna be when he's healthy? We have seen this. We have seen Paul George play well when he was with the Clippers. When Kawhi was hurt, he was good. When Kawhi was there, he was still good. We just need to see him continue that. And like I said, Joel needs to stay healthy. Number 13, the Dallas Mavericks. This team is interesting because it brings up more injury concerns. Can Anthony Davis stay healthy? When Kyrie comes back, how well is he going to play off of a torn ACL? He helps this team a lot when he comes back. It raises this team's ceiling by so much when he returns. And the most important of them all, Cooper Flag, first overall pick, exciting. Probably rookie, let's just be honest, probably. The Spurs. Wembanyama. Yeah, this team's good. It's a really good team. Wemby's going to be out for throats after his last season got cut short. He has an amazing supporting cast behind him. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, who just got drafted. I see this team ending a lot higher. I don't think they win a title this year. I feel like something's missing with this team. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on what I think it is. I think something's missing. But they could end up as a top 5, ranked team at the end of the year. They could overtake some of these teams like the Lakers and the Warriors that I have above them. That's a very well in the realm of possibility. Wemby is going to put on an MVP caliber season. I see what I have last year. He's going to win DPOY most likely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Speaking of fun, the Atlanta Hawks at 11. This team is defense, 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 and even more defense. It is amazing. Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, they acquired Kristaps, Zachary Risache make that next jump. He looked good. This team is unbelievable on defense. They are going to be a 1 or 2 team defense. And I didn't even mention the best player on the team, Trae Young. He is a little upset with the Atlanta Hawks in the front office without getting his extension. Does he get one? It relies on if he can bring this team back. I don't know if they are title contenders, but how far can they make it? And that's what's going to help or hurt Trae Young's extension. We don't know. We're going to have to see how well he plays. At 10, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. It's LeBron and Luka. As I said, I wasn't going to let the second half of this game skew my rankings, but they looked bad. There was no LeBron tonight, but Luka hard carried this team looked bad, really, really, really bad. But you could throw anybody out there. Luka had 41. It was either 39 or 41. I think it was 41. He's amazing. What a surprise. I know we all didn't know that already. So it doesn't matter who to put out there. They're going, they're going to get theirs. 9, I have the team that beat them tonight. The Golden State Warriors. This team's old. Like, they're the second oldest team in the league by age. Steph's 35. Dre is 35. Steph's 37. Jimmy's 36. And Al Horford's old self at 39. Even Buddy Hield's 32. The defense is going to be a little worrisome, with the team being as old as they are. How much is that cardio going to hurt them? It's something for us to see when the season, the rest of the season plays out. Jonathan Kuminga looked great tonight. That third quarter, he was amazing. I wonder if Steve Kerr's going to start trusting him a little more. I don't know if he will, but I hope he does. It seemed like he was seeing the floor better, which is good. I think that was the big reason that Steve Kerr was having such drawbacks on him, is he just didn't see the floor very well. So, hopefully the rest of the season he continues to see the floor well and he gets more minutes, and this team could be really good. 8 is the Detroit Pistons. How much does, losing Malik hurt? I don't know. They lose 3-point shooting, but doesn't matter that much. I'm not sure. Cade should have a dark horse MVP season. I think if you pick anybody out of the league who will step up and show it, it's going to be Cade. He was great last year. He's going to be great again. Asar, having dealing with injuries, he is not on the same tier as his brother anymore. But Asar has the talent to do it. He's just if he could stay, it was blood clots, so it's not, hopefully something that won't return. He's going to be good. It should be exciting to watch Asar flourish this season. At 7 is the Los Angeles Clippers. This team's older than the Warriors are, which is hard to do. It's the same, it's basically the exact same thing I have with the Warriors. Is that cardio going to get to him? I mean, they're even older. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Nicholas Batum, Zubac, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal. They are really, really old. It's just, can they stay healthy enough to make a push in the postseason? Also, will Kawhi show up in the regular season? Kawhi has a knack of not really wanting to play his best ball in the regular season. That is something that we're going to need to see. If he doesn't, having James Harden and acquiring John Collins, James Harden's going to, he's one of the biggest floor raisers in the history of the league. He should be able to take this team to at least the postseason if Kawhi decides that he doesn't want to show up in the regular season, which is very possible, but hopefully he does. At 6, the Orlando Magic. Paolo and Franz. Unbelievable. They are both so good at the game of basketball. They have, if you watch any preseason, the double big lineup is super interesting. There's a lot of teams doing it, and if they run into that a lot, this team runs on average a lineup of 6'10". They are going to fall behind in height, but they'll be able to make up for it with getting down the court, So I wonder how that's going to off-balance each other. Offensively, their spacing was really bad last year. They were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. But they got Desmond Bane. They also got Tyus Jones. Desmond Bane, I'm not going to say alone fully flips the face of this team with his three-point shooting ability, but he helps a ton. It's going to be nice. They're going to be able to shoot the ball. They're going to be able to do anything they want offensively. They are just going to be able to score. Number 5 is the Cavaliers. I almost wanted to put the Magic higher than the Cavaliers because it's a good team. We all know that. But I think they are getting slightly overhyped because they started 15-0 last year. I don't see them starting 15-0 again. They're going to be good, but I don't know if they start 15-0. that is a once, you know, once in 5, 10 years thing. I don't know. So I have him at 5. Four's the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant is just, I mean, every year Ant shows he improves, and he just continues to improve in every aspect of the game. They lack a true point guard. But Ant did say he locked himself in the gym this year, as he does every offseason, working on something that we won't be able to see until it happens. I hope it's that playmaking leap that he needs to take. Another thing, Rudy Gobert, he's never been a great offensive player. He's always been really good on defense. But, he's getting up there. How well does that defense stay? It's something we're going to have to see in the season. I don't know. Number 3, I have the New York Knicks. They're just good. Like, honestly, this team is just good. They picked up Jordan Clarkson, who's going to help man the second unit. You can't really ask for a much better, second point guard who's going to play when Jalen Brunson's not on the floor. You can't really get much better. In my opinion, I think one of the most underappreciated aspects in professional sports is team chemistry and atmosphere. And luckily for the New York Knicks, they have both of them. The Villanova Knicks and playing in Madison Square Garden. Yay! The East is also really hurt, so that's another upside for this Knicks team. Just, are they going to be able to show the physicality that is needed to push themselves to the next level? I think they should, They have Iron Man of the league in Mikal Bridges. They have a Josh Hart. They have Mitchell Robinson. And Jalen Brunson. This team should be good. Just can they make that last leap? They couldn't make it past a Pacers team last year. Hopefully this year they will. I don't know who gets in their way. With that magical run the Pacers had, I just don't see a team that gets in their way this year, if I'm being honest. Number 2, I have my Denver Nuggets. Really, I'm just a Jamal Murray fan, but we look good. Jokic is the best player on the planet. We took the, defending champs to 7. We only got better. We added Bruce Brown back to the team. We extended Christian Braun the other day. Really good contract in my opinion. $20 million a year over the next 5. So it's 100 over 4. So I'm sorry, it was 20. I'm sorry, it's 100 million over 5. Good contract. I don't know what Christian Braun's ceiling necessarily is, but we're only gonna be better. Oh, and Valanciunas, there's not a better backup you could ask for behind Jokic when the few minutes he's not on the court. We've had the struggle of not really having a good backup for him, and this year we've solved it. So I am super excited to watch this team play. They also are one of those double big lineups. They ran that in the preseason, which is super interesting. I really hope they don't run it a lot. And Cam Johnson as well, former Brooklyn Net. I'm sorry. I hope they don't run it a lot in the regular season. But we'll see what the coaching staff got in mind. And number 1. As per nobody's surprise, if you see somebody else has a number 1, they are insane and wild, and they need to be drug tested. It is the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're gonna be amazing. If you watch the team, they have no championship fatigue is what they call it. They have none of that. They look awesome. They are awesome. The team's amazing. Shea's like the greatest. They're just gonna be awesome, Who beats them? Maybe the Nuggets. I don't look for there to be another team who's gonna even come close. They're great. I said it once, I'll say it again. They're amazing. So, that's my 30 teams. I hope y'all enjoyed. I need y'all to know something. In case you disagree with my opinion, that is, I welcome all complaints, comments, things like that. Just remember, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a mic and some free time and an opinion. Thank y'all for watching.